Today is Tuesday, January 9, the 9th day of 2018. There are 356 days left in the year. Today's highlight in history. On January 9, 1793, Frenchman Jean-Pierre Blanchard, using a hot air balloon, flew from Philadelphia to Woodbury, New Jersey. On this date, in 1788, Connecticut became the fifth state to ratify the U.S. Constitution. In 1861, Mississippi became the second state to secede from the Union. The same day the Star of the West, a merchant vessel bringing reinforcements and supplies to federal troops at Fort Sumter, South Carolina, retreated because of artillery fire. In 1913, Richard Milhous Nixon, the 37th President of the United States, was born in Yorba Linda, California. In 1916, the World War I Battle of Gallipoli ended after 8 months with an Ottoman Empire victory as Allied forces withdrew. In 1931, Bobby Trout and Edna Mae Cooper broke an endurance record for female aviators as they returned to Mines Field in Los Angeles after flying a Curtiss Robin monoplane continuously for 122 hours and 50 minutes. In 1945, during World War II, American forces began landing on the shores of Lingayen Gulf in the Philippines as the Battle of Luzon got underway, resulting in an Allied victory over Imperial Japanese forces. In 1958, President Dwight D. Eisenhower, in his State of the Union address to Congress, warned of the threat of communist imperialism. In 1968, the Surveyor 7 space probe made a soft landing on the Moon, marking the end of the American series of unmanned explorations of the lunar surface. In 1972, reclusive billionaire Howard Hughes, speaking by telephone from the Bahamas to reporters in Hollywood, said a purported autobiography of him by Clifford Irving was a fake. In 1987, the White House released a January 1986 memorandum prepared for President Ronald Reagan by Lieutenant Colonel Oliver L. North showing a link between U.S. arms sales to Iran and the release of American hostages in Lebanon. In 1993, the two owners of a fast food restaurant in Palatine, Illinois, and 5 employees were found shot and stabbed to death. 2 suspects were arrested in May 2002, both were convicted in separate trials and sentenced to life in prison. In 1997, a Comair commuter plane crashed 18 miles short of the Detroit Metropolitan Airport, killing all 29 people on board. 10 years ago, President George W. Bush, on his first visit to Israel while in office, warned Iran of serious consequences if it again harassed U.S. warships in the Persian Gulf. The U.S. military reported 9 American soldiers were killed in the first 2 days of a new offensive to root out al-Qaeda in Iraq. Fighters holed up in districts north of Baghdad. Johnny Grant, the honorary mayor of Hollywood, died in Los Angeles at age 84. 5 years ago, Vice President Joe Biden heard personal stories of gun violence from representatives of victims' groups and gun safety organizations at the White House as he undertook to draft the Obama administration's response to the mass shooting at a Connecticut elementary school. The C-Streak Wall Street, a commuter ferry, made a hard landing into a Manhattan pier, injuring 85 people. Investigators later cited operator error. No one was elected to the Baseball Hall of Fame. For the second time in 4 decades, baseball writers failed to give any player the 75% required for induction to Cooperstown, sending a firm signal that stars of the steroids era would be held to a different standard.